Hello and welcome back to another video on the Project Corner. I'm a bit late, I know, but things have been booming in the Microsoft world. So why hasn't there been a video lately? First of all, I did a 3-part series webinar together with MPUG. And you can find it at MPUG. It's all about visualization in Microsoft Project. Second reason, I got swamped with work. And third reason, Microsoft announced something very fresh, very new, and that's what this video is all about. This is my feature release video of Project for the Web, or P4W, as some of my colleague MVPs starting to call it now. So I'm a bit behind, and that means that I'm jumping on a fast-moving train, and the PPM world, at least the part that I'm part of, is very excited. So just have a look at all these blog articles that just came out last week. Everyone is writing about it. Everyone is making webinars about it. Everyone is doing video coverage. It is insane. So let me first of all tell you, I'm going to share all these links to you in the show notes. But let's have a first look at what's coming, because in October 2019, if you're seeing this in the future, that's been way in the past, but there is a new Microsoft project that is rolling out to customers worldwide. If you do have a Microsoft Project Online or a Project Online Professional or Premium license, you have this new version already installed for you. So just from the brief introduction Microsoft blog, you can see some nice little GIFs, little videos here on what it is. It is a Microsoft version that is only on the web, and you can use this to have a grid view, it's called. It's tables, and you can have a timeline view, which is somewhat confusing because we have the Gantt chart and we have the timeline in Microsoft Project. And you have something called Agile with boards. That is insane. It is really amazing. And we're going to do this live, obviously, but just going by looking into this little video here, there's even an integration with Microsoft Teams, which is very cool. So Microsoft Project is finally coming to Teams natively. That is awesome. So Project with Teams, insights on your fingertips. Well, there is also a Power BI template. And I'm going to share the notes, obviously, and I'm going to show you some things as well. So and this is a very important thing here. Extensible platform. What does that mean? Well, it's built on the most modern things Microsoft has to offer in Azure. It is going to be the most extensible platform for Microsoft Project ever, and that is going to be amazing. So this is just the first one. And did you see the new logo? Maybe you have me on Twitter as well, and I shared this already, but I am excited about the new logo. It is a very fresh new logo, and it looks exactly like the other logos from Microsoft Office, and yeah, I kind of love it. So there's questions and answers, obviously. There's not that many, but there are 3 more Microsoft articles. There's an introduction. When do I have it? Can I still use it? What can I do with Project for the Web? Very important one, where the things that you can do with Project for the Web is not as extensive as you can do with Microsoft Project or Project Professional. But my colleague Peter Castano said it best, I think, where the new Project for the Web is in the sweet spot between Tasks and Planner on the one side and Microsoft Project on the other side, where Tasks and or To Do, sorry, I meant To Do. So where To Do and Planner are for the very, very basic scheduling needs, and Microsoft Project is for the enterprise-sized projects that need to be managed. But this is in the sweet spot, and I do believe there is a huge market for that sweet spot. Here we also say that it's timeline instead of Gantt chart. So there's reporting, and there's an asterisk here because reporting actually requires Power BI as well. So there's out-of-the-box reporting, obviously, with templates, usability, and this is very exciting. It is co-authoring. So up to 20 people can co-author a schedule at the same time. So just imagine your board meetings or your sprint meetings or your daily stand-ups, and everyone has the tablets and they can start working with that immediately. So it's mobile. Yeah, everything is mobile right away. So, and this has me excited because, as you might know, I'm working on a Power BI baby steps or Power Apps baby steps. Sorry, I'm very excited here. So Power Apps Baby Steps is a blog series that I have with the Project Corner blog, and I'm diving into the world of Power Apps, and it is very cool to see that there is customization power within Power Apps for the new project for the web. So that's it's awesome. Workflows, yeah, we love workflows, don't we? So let's dive into customizing, reporting, obviously, Power Apps and Flow again. So these are the four official Microsoft articles. I'm not going to dive into those anymore, but Nenad, one of my all-time favorite bloggers. Very nice little neat blog articles with a lot of pictures, very cool. He did a very short article just saying great news for everyone, because it is very good news. So the new project is here, and I do believe, nope, he doesn't name it as Project for the Web, but he actually means Project for the Web. So here is Paul Mather, who we probably know and love and should know and love for all his work on Flow recently and Power Apps, and he's doing a lot, and he even brought out 2 big articles and a video. So I'll put links in the show notes again, but getting started with part 1, he's just introducing us to the new service, and as I will do shortly. But it looks amazing. He has a lot of pictures here as well, so very useful resource. Then he has a part 2 where he dives deep into editing stuff. So he grabs the Power BI report and he is going to connect to that. And here's some information. You do need to have a Dynamics link, because it links up to the CDS, so Common Data Service, and that's also the reason why it is so extendable, because it lives on the Common Data Service. So that's very cool. So here you have all that information, and he just does an excellent work in getting you up and running to get that extensibility with the Project for Web. So here's Power BI for those who are familiar with the visual. It's just so cool. So these are his 2 blogs. Then I would like to share Peter Castano's blog, where he has a release with Project for the Web with the nice logo he noticed as well. And he focuses on the Gantt chart view, or the timeline view as we're calling it now. Also some introduction, some nice clean screenshots here. What you might notice is that all these people have their AD pictures in there, and maybe you can't see that right now, but we're going to zoom in on the application in a moment. This means that Project for the Web is already connected to your Active Directory. And here he introduces us to Power PPM, which is the application that Projectum has created on top of all the extensibility, as well as we previously mentioned, where you have a lot of power in your hands straight away, where you can work with a very fast, very clean, very user-friendly, very secure way of having your portfolio and your projects in here. So there's a few links to have a more deeper knowledge of what we have to offer as Projectum. So let's head over and let's see what this is. This is something on GitHub, which is a solution that you can download, and you can have flow interactions with the new project for the web. So that's very cool, and there's a little Power App in here as well that you can start and play around with. Then we have Antti, who created 4 blogs even. He is a Dynamics MVP, but I met with him during last MVP Summit, and he's just this really cool guy, young guy, and he created videos I see here, and working with templates, and wow, all kinds of videos, right? Webinars, kinds of videos. Very cool, very cool. Then if you want to go a little more in the deep dive situation, there's also 2 developer items here, as well as how to connect the Power BI to Project for the Web. And here is the template for that Project for the Web Project for the Web template. So yes, I'm going to download this in a moment, and we're going to fade out, and I'm going to show you the new Power BI. But I've been talking too much. Let's have a first look at the new Microsoft project. Or let's have a look at the new project for the web. Now, for those of you who've seen my previous feature release videos, you're familiar with the home of Microsoft Project Home. It is accessible through project.microsoft.com, and you'll come into this little environment here, and the button here has changed. New blank project, it says. It used to say project or new project, and it used to say new roadmap. Now it still does say new roadmap. Another feature release video in the sideline, but yeah, so let's click on new blank project and let's get this thing started. Right from the start, it is doing this for the first time, so yeah, this might take some time, but here you go. This is your new project. It is wicked fast. And that's a technical term, by the way. So it starts on 3 November, which is the current date, and it ends on 3 November, which is good because there is no tasks in here. So untitled project, I can rename it here, and I can even change the manager. But I am the project manager, and first try add project for the web. Alright, I'm going to start today. Well, nope, I'm going to start tomorrow, which is a Monday. And the project currently takes 0 days. Yeah, what can you do? No tasks, no project. So here we go. So it's very clean. It's very, yeah, basic. So let's have a summary task. And let's add a task. Task 1. Task 2, task 3. I see that I made a spelling error here, so the F2 button still works here, and as well as the insert button would work here as well. Let me find the insert button. I'm working on the Surface. I have an insert button. Yeah, I do. Oh, sorry, that's the F12. So here, insert works just like you would expect. So let's have a task 1.1 here. And we can select multiple tasks. Oh, let's have a milestone here as well. So you can select multiple tasks here, and right-clicking also works. So what options do you have? You have the make subtasks. You can cut, copy, paste and insert tasks. You can delete tasks. You can add dependencies or remove those. And you click on complete task. Wow, that's neat. So let's make these all subtasks of our little summary, and you see that it is indented now, which is very cool, which is very nice to have. Let's see, we can promote subtask. Oh, that's indent outdent for you, as it used to be called, right? So make a subtask and promote a subtask. So let's click on make a subtask. What happens now? It will. Okay. So let's click on Ctrl Z, which also works. So we have a very clean board view, or very clean browser view. All the buttons that you know and love from undo, redo, and all that, it's still in here. It's just not visible. So let's make them all dependent on each other. So add dependency, and I will see that, oh wow, it took notice, and everything has a duration now, which doesn't make sense for the milestone. So let's click on 0 here. It is 0 days. Let's see what is underneath the add columns. So we have a couple of columns, and as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, Project for the Web is in a sweet spot between Microsoft Project and Planner and To Do on the other side. That means that it doesn't have the full capacity of Microsoft Project. And we don't expect that to happen. At least I don't expect that to happen anytime soon. But this is a valuable way to start your projects. So effort used to be called work. Then we have percentage complete is always interesting. And look at that. It has a nice little bar here. That is awesome. So we can have a look at dependent on, which is a very nice way of saying predecessors and successors. This is a task that is dependent on two. Very cool, very cool. And if you click on this section, it will find the task, and it will have the name of that task in there as well. Very, very neat, very clean, very nice way of looking at it. The outline number is in here, so you know that it is a subtask. So this can be used for your WBS. Can I move it? Yes, I can. That is awesome. I haven't tried that yet, so that's very cool that you can actually move the columns here. Bucket is interesting. We're going to have a look at the board view in a moment, so let's have that up here. So everything is a to-do, actually. That makes sense. So when is it going to start, and when is it going to finish? Well, these actions are available right from the start, and yeah, you can do just about anything with this. So let's have that test with adding a resource without doing anything of a build team or add resources from a resource pool. Let's click on add. And currently I'm the only member, but I know my wife is in this tenant as well. Yeah, there she is. I don't have a picture, and I don't intend to have a picture of her here, so you just have to use your imagination there. What happened? First, connect your project to a group. This is interesting because this is, again, on that interconnectivity between other applications, such as Microsoft Teams. So if you can create a group, that means that that group can have a Microsoft team, and yeah, the possibilities are endless, basically. So you can even add to an existing group. If you do have an existing group for instance, your PMO, makes sense. Or with your project group, which has multiple projects working together, or in an agile situation, you have your team that does multiple actions, not simultaneously, because you're not agile if you do. But yeah, so I'm going to create a first try at Project for the Web group, create and add. So here we go. Now there are 2 members and it has a name, and I can add multiple members. I don't have anyone else in this tenant, so I can't add more resources, but yeah, just let Miriam have some work here, and I can increase by clicking on 1W, and it knows that it's going to be weeks there. Let's see that little trick with 1M is still 1 minute. You do remember that from Microsoft project probably. So here 1 month, and that's going to be a task that I'm going to do. And I'm going to have 160 hours to do. So let's click on this one and let's see what happens if we click it on 25%. It gets that nice little bar here, and the top level has that nice little bar here. Isn't that sweet, guys? It's amazing. I typically love this. This is very cool. So 2 weeks here, and let Miriam do the work. And can I have less work without losing the duration of that task? Nope. So this is something that you might know and love from Microsoft Project. It has the ability to say, okay, we have a fixed duration and a limited amount of work. This project for the web actually wants you to work full-time on tasks. Yeah, so that's something to keep in mind when you're working with work and duration here. So we can also see the effort completed and effort remaining, which are also very nice columns here, and we can put that up here. That is cool. So now when we switch between the views here, and I'm going back to the grid, I will hopefully see the same constellation of columns that I had previously. So let's do a try here. And we're going to get back here in a few seconds. But yes, it does retain the view that you created for yourself. So that's very cool, very neat. Let's jump back into that timeline and have a closer look here. So it has that zoom functionality that we know and not typically love from the roadmap. I have a user voice on that, open on that, so you might know that. But it does have a very clean, oh, what happened here? It does a deep dive on what dates it has. And for the rest, it's very clean. Have a look at that. That is awesome. And yeah, it just blows my mind on how nice this looks. So let's have a second summary and a task and another task. Numero dos, and a milestone 2, yeah. And let's do an indent here. It's just wicked fast. And have you noticed, by the way, that there's no save button? There's no publish button. There's no check in. There's no check out. That is so cool. But where are my tasks? They're probably something similar to the manual tasks, right? So in the grid view, we can add that detail. So let's do that right now and say, well, this is going to take another 2 weeks, 1 week, and it's a milestone, so 0 duration. And here it fills in what it actually is. That is cool, so that you don't have to scroll up a lot. Well, let's see what happens if I need to scroll up a lot. Let's add a couple of tasks, and let's do that a couple of more times. I don't think there is an exact limit on the amount of tasks that you have, but oh, look, it retains the header of the columns. That is nice. So you'll always know that you're doing something in the assign to. Very cool. So let's click on this one and see what happens. It completes it, and it gave a little ping. maybe he didn't hear that, but it gave me a little ping, and I'm very happy. Bing! Ah, very cool. All right, so without further ado, let's start removing those tasks again. Let's do a multi-select, and then I right-click and then delete those tasks. And let's delete those. 6 tasks were deleted. Very good, very good. I am using the new Edge browser, by the way, so maybe all this functionality doesn't work on Internet Explorer. I have heard some rumors about that is the case, so you might want to consider doing an upgrade on your browser if you want to start using this product here. So let's have me doing the second, and let's do a duo on numero dos. That is very cool. All right, so let's jump back into the timeline and have a look at that. All right, nice. They aren't dependent on each other right now, so let's add that dependency, and let's see if I can select the milestone and this task here and do another dependency. Yes, it works. And if I do a collapse, that also works. It is very, very, very fast. You might say, yeah, it's fast because there's not that much in here, but I beg to differ, because it does have a lot of capabilities with the groups, with the timeline, with the grid, grabbing information straight from Active Directory. You don't need to have a separate license here. It is very, very cool. So I need to make this a promoted subtask to have it on line 2, which is very good. All right, cool. So let's jump into a part that is Agile, because we have the board here. And the logo just gave us a brief intro that there's something coming up. And here you have a very straightforward, not started yet, in progress and completed. And I can start moving activities to this side. The ping isn't working here, so that's something to take note of. And we can say, well, we're doing this one as well, we're doing this one as well, and see what happens if I move it from in progress, from not started to in progress. It tells us that we're 50% done. So that is something to keep in mind, that other than other Agile tools and the Agile functionality in Microsoft Project, you do not control the percentage here yet. I could imagine that someone wants this, and I can imagine that this is going to be a user voice action. So let's see that if we have everything in progress, if we're doing everything, we're doing nothing at all, right? And here you see the result, where you even have the option to make tasks dependent on each other. Very nice little visual. We can shorten the duration, and it tells us that we're complete, which is obviously true. It knows that it's not working on a weekend. You see that happening here. So you can't work in the weekends using the project for the web at the moment, which isn't a bad thing. So let's see what let's see what Project for the Web does if I move this task across to here, because Microsoft Project takes this little action that isn't done yet and moves that to the next possible time frame. So let's see what happens. I actually don't know. Okay, so it makes a dependency, and it sees that we already started, so it keeps that dependency here, where Microsoft Project would move that remaining work to the next week. So that is something that you might want to take notice of when you're starting to schedule with this Project for the Web application. But other than that, I am very excited. This is a very nice little, well, it's not little. This is a very nice introduction to what Microsoft is currently doing, right? This is straight out of science fiction, I would say. So if I go back to home, I will see that there is a different icon here. First try at Project for the Web. It is not a PWA project anymore, so Project Web App project. No, it is just a project, and you can just put it as a favorite here, as we know and love from Project Home. And we have the option to jump into it. Remove it, obviously, but if we jump into it, it starts to load, and it's here. And we can jump into it, and we can start changing it again. No need to check in, check out, publish, save. That's all a part of history with this version. So very cool. Yeah, I am actually out of time, I believe. So I'm going to do another video on that Power BI stuff, using this first try at Project for the Web. So keep an eye out for that. I'm very excited. Let me know how you feel about this new Microsoft Project for the Web. Have you seen any of the other blogs? Have you read anything? Do you have any questions for me about this? Do you want to see more of this? And obviously you do, and I am going to deliver. Yeah, let me know what you think. Write down in the comments. Sharing is caring, and subscribing is even better. So thank you very much for watching. If you like this, put those thumbs up and consider subscribing.